People it up. Let's get Bryce Young some weapons. And what a better place to go shopping than this year's NFL draft. Johnny Watch Panthers Sports with Phil Perkins. It is draft season, baby. This is the Carolina Panthers' time to shine, as they have been for the last couple of years. Oh my gosh, it's so disappointing. But the Panthers find themselves with the 33rd overall pick, the first overall pick in the second round. And there are multiple places the Panthers can go, but this time we're going to be focusing on the wide receiver position, arguably the deepest wide receiver draft in the last couple of years. And we have seen in the last couple of years as well, rookie wide receivers, not named Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo, completely explode in their first year in the league. And there is no better draft class right now. There are guys who are going to be in the second round who any other year could have been in the first round. And I can feel it that they are going to make immediate impacts with the Carolina Panthers, assuming also they add in free agency as well. So who better to talk about and break down with the analytical mind, the beautiful mind that is Jared Feinberg. You can find him on X at JRod NFL Draft. This is his life. I wouldn't say it's his life. I'm not speaking for him, but I've been following this guy. I'm sure you have as well on X for quite some time. I love the way he thinks. I love the way he evaluates players. You can also watch his and read his articles on Cat Crave. The guy does 7-round mock drafts. He gives his analysis. He does pre-draft, post-draft, talking about guys that are attainable at 33 overall or later. So if you want to get smarter, you want to get primed up for the NFL draft, you want to watch these. McConkey 2 years ago, in that semifinal against Ohio State. And me and my friends, we were like, we're making prop bets because it's legal up here. And we were saying, who is this Lad McConkey guy? We didn't even look at his name. We're like, I just want to bet on this guy to have a great game just because of his name. And now he's not just a name. Like he's actually a very good receiver. He is getting a lot of love right now, but he's also getting a little bit of shade. And I wonder if it's because his name's Lad McConkey, and he's of the Caucasian persuasion. I gotta say it. That has to be a part of it.
That has
to be a part of it. I wonder. Like I've already seen, Hogan comparisons. Jokingly, he's a Wes Welker type. He's a Danny Amendola type. That reliable possession white wide receiver. I'm already getting it. But what is it about Lad McConkey that is garnering him so much positive reviews right now from the scouting community? Oh, I think you froze. Oh. Jared froze. Jared.
The third or fourth round. That type of thing.
Sorry. Jared, you froze, and now you're back. Sorry. You froze. We have to start on Lad McConkey again. Like your review on Lad McConkey. I think you were about to talk, and then you froze. So you might have to go.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I think my internet went out because I just saw work offline. Should be good. Am I good now?
Yeah, perfect now.
Okay, cool.
So right. Well, what's your take? Yeah, it's all good. Right. So what's your take on Lad McConkey? What makes him so coveted right now by the scouting community?
It's more just his football IQ and his ability as a route runner overall. But he's not just your prototypical wide receiver or white wide receiver. He plays the position like any other receiver in the game. He is not someone that's going to be strictly a slot receiver. He can play the X, the Z. He can still play the slot very well, but we saw him win on the outside at Georgia against SEC corners. Like, you want to talk about a good skill set there? That's a good skill set already. He's a natural separator. Always has been. He's able to shake and wind defenders at the top of his routes. Good body control, plays with ample burst at the top of his routes, shows a good understanding of coverages, zone coverages, and finds the soft spots in zone coverage where he can just sit and wait for the quarterback to throw the ball to him. He will win vertically one-on-one. We've seen him win one-on-one. I think you go back to, I believe it's the Ole Miss game. He won on a double move and he shook the corner so bad he got Lad McConkey got open by 20 yards. Like, he is a great route runner, especially on a vertical plane. He varies his tempos. He manipulates defensive backs at the line of scrimmage. He has a really good quick jab step that I really like when he's crossing defenders' faces. And also it's hard not to like his run after catch ability, where we saw in the Orange Bowl that rushing touchdown where he's just weaving his way through traffic. Like, I see that and I'm like, what? How is that not a potential number 33 overall pick?
Yeah,
For the
absolutely.
Panthers. This is not a third round player.
That almost looked like a nothing play. That almost looked like it could have been a mess up. He made something out of nothing.
He did. And that's one of his strengths as a player too. He succeeds in yard after catch, run after catch ability. He's not this third round guy that is just going to win as a route runner. He reminds me a lot of Randall Cobb. And some fans are going to think like, oh, Randall Cobb didn't have a ton of production, like in terms of like 1,000-yard seasons, but he was still a very good wide receiver for the Packers, especially with Aaron Rodgers. And Cobb's skill set is very similar.
Yeah.
And one thing I love about McConkey too, strong hands, always coming down with the football. He does have average size. I mean, of course, he's going to have that prototypical size for a white wide receiver. Small, but and in some ways, there's some similarities to Hunter Renfrow. But I think Hunter Renfrow was more of a true route runner as a receiver. Like, he was getting open every time he ran a route, like always. And there's a possibility Hunter Renfrow could be available this offseason, whether it's for a trade or in free agency. There are rumors that the Raiders might move on from Hunter Renfrow, but I don't think Ladd is a comparison for Hunter Renfrow or vice versa. They're just two different players at the position. Ladd's not going to win, of course. Like, he's not going to consistently win against physical press man corners, but he will win in other ways on the perimeter, and that's what makes him stand out to prototypical wide receivers. He's still one of the better receivers in this draft. Wouldn't surprise me if he win the first round, at least in the late first round section, probably picks 20 or maybe 25 to 32, where a playoff contender could just snag him and end up pairing him with a great quarterback. Maybe, I don't know. Imagine Lad McConkey with Patrick Mahomes.
I was just going to talk about I was just going to say, like, if he's drafted by the Carolina Panthers, he's arguably one of our better receivers.
Yes.
But imagine he was with a team that had Travis Kelce already, that's getting all the attention, who still manages to get open all the time. And then you put him there as like their B receiver, like that, the production will be out of this world.